I am certified pet professional Amy Lee. The only difference between you and your groomer is knowledge, techniques, and tools. It is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry. So stay put as we get started on this journey together today. Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home just like a professional. And that's what we do right here every Monday, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, live from the grooming table. Thank you all for being here tonight, each and every one of you. I'm so happy to see you. One of my goals here on my YouTube channel is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry, and that is one that includes pet owners as valuable consumers and not just pet groomers. So with so many people seeking valuable knowledge in order to groom their dogs at home, having a place to learn proper dog grooming techniques and receive professional advice on tools, products, where to get them, it's essential. So that's why I created this YouTube channel for you and your pets. Welcome to Go Groomer on YouTube. Tonight's topic is why your dog has tangled hair and mats. Oh my gosh, guys, this is an easy one, but I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not only going to walk you through it, I have a fun way to bring it to you tonight, okay? Just a great way for you to be able to understand the message I'm trying to communicate to you. So tonight we're going to learn why your dog has tangled hair and mats and what you can do about it. What causes your dog's hair to be matted? Okay, we're going to talk about that. And in this video, I'm going to share a simple comparison that will help you understand why your dog has matted hair, if they do, or what causes your dog's hair to become matted. I'm going to bring it to you really easily, really simple, nice and easy for you tonight, guys. So regardless of your dog's coat type, you can have a dog with long hair and easily avoid an unkept coat if you follow my grooming tips for pet lovers, just like you guys. So let's get to it, my friends. We've got a lot to do tonight. And I will obviously be answering your questions afterwards, just like always. So if you have a question, please hold the dash button and create a line in front of your question so I can be sure to see it and answer it in the chat. And also will help other people understand, you know, they probably have the same questions you do. So by asking your questions is going to help everybody else too. So don't forget to ask those questions. I'm going to get to them. But we got a cool little demo here, guys. You're not going to be expecting this. I just want to show you a few things. Okay, I groomed a beautiful little Cocker Spaniel today. Actually, she's a mix, but she's much like a Cocker. This is the hair that I removed from her during the bathing process. Now, she's not a shedding breed, so to speak. She does have a bit of a double coat, but this, she has a long coat. You're going to see her in the demo. She has a lot of coat, and this is simply just dead hair. Okay, guys? When I brush my hair, I get at least this much in my brush every time I brush my hair because my hair is long. So if your dog's coat is long, on the longer side, you're going to get more dead hair out of the coat than you would if your dog's hair is short. You're still going to get dead hair, believe me, even if you have a dog with short hair. So there's certain keys to keeping that coat in good shape and the skin, and I'm telling you, it is the place that you must begin if you're going to provide quality care for your pet at home is skin and coat care, not the haircut. We talk about this all the time. But hey, just so you know, I got a fun demo for you. So let's watch this, guys. You're going to love it. Why your dog has tangled hair and mats. It's simple, guys. This is all dead hair. This is dead hair that was in the coat. This was not neglect. It's just normal for a dog to have dead hair in their coat. If you don't brush and wash it, it will not come out. And then it will become mats. This is where mats come from. dead hair and coat inside of good healthy coat. So let me make this a little easier for you to understand. What if you didn't wash or brush your hair for 1 month? Ew. Well, fortunately, I can show you what that's like. This gentleman right here, he was unable to get to the barber for a year, and he didn't wash or brush his hair in a year. And as you can see, the barber had to cut the mats out first, and now the barber is exfoliating his scalp, which is extremely flaky and crusty. This would also be equivalent to dog dander. I mean, this is the same thing with our dogs, guys. If we don't wash and brush their skin and coat, this is what's going to happen. They're going to get mats. You're going to get dry, flaky skin. You're going to get dander. It's the same for dogs as it is for humans. So don't complicate it any more than what it is. If you don't brush and wash your scalp and your hair, it's going to turn out just like a matted dog. But at any rate, this guy went to his professional barber, which, by the way, he did a wonderful job. And I've linked the video in case you want to go watch the whole thing. It was nice. I enjoyed it. As you can see, the barber's like, I've got to scrub this scalp. I have got to clean this head before I can even do any type of nice clipper work on this young man. And that's the key to dog grooming too, guys. Taking care of the skin and coat. Oh, look at him. He's going to look great. Look at this. Before and after. Yeah, he got a nice shortcut, but it looks awesome. Nice and clean, nice and tidy, and very healthy. Very healthy. That's the same for our dogs. So the reason I showed you this comparison, guys, is because I want you to understand that caring for your dog's skin and coat is the same as caring for your own skin and coat. Honestly, I want you to think of it the same. If you don't brush your dog but once a month, once every 3 months, you're going to get a buildup of crusty skin, like crustaceans all over the skin, just the same as if you didn't brush your scalp. Your follicles are just going to overproduce oils and sebum and stuff that will just become crusty stuff on your scalp. And that can lead to irritation too. You know, it can get sore. And that happens often with our dogs. What becomes allergies? It's often diagnosed as allergies. It's just unkept skin and coat. So the secret to keeping your dog mat-free, tangle-free, is to just brush and bathe them regularly, just like you take care of your skin and hair too. So now let's talk about the tools and products that you need to use to take care of your dog's skin and coat. Okay. That was interesting, wasn't it? Well, listen, it's that simple. I was thinking about this today because I knew I would be performing this work on Indy today. And I knew I work on her every 6 to 7 weeks. You saw how long she was the first dog in the demo. So real quickly, that's Indy right there in the picture. So you can see her. Mats. Okay. She has a lot of coat, and her mom brushes her. Her mom is my mom, by the way. Hi, Mom. So this is the coat that we get out. I got this out today because I use a little bit different tools than she would at home. Not that she's not doing a good enough job. Indy wasn't matted. It was important. But she seriously was ready for bathing. She did not have a lot of dander and buildup like you guys saw in the young man in the demo. He had dander and buildup because you have to exfoliate their skin just like we do ours. When you saw the barber picking through his scalp and his hair and flakes were just flying off, that's normal for somebody who was not brushing their scalp and their hair. That stimulates blood flow to your skin, which creates healthy skin, healthy scalp, healthy hair. Without doing that, the hair and the skin is going to suffer. So it was the easiest way to demonstrate for you guys how it's not just in dog grooming. It's skin and coat care, period, okay? And before we do anything with grooming, we have to work that skin and coat and get it in good shape. And that's what I did with Indy today. She was not matted. She just had a lot of dead coat in her healthy coat. This was just hanging in there. Had I not removed this and had her mom not brushed her regularly, this would have been mats in her coat. Just like the mats that they cut off the guy in the demo today. I see Impossible Pup just joined the Hounds. Welcome to the Hounds. That's David T. We're going to give you a welcome here. Where's my welcome? How about a super chat? Welcome to the Hounds, David T. Great to have you. He just was at a grooming show and the All-American Grooming Show. He showed me his haul. He's so excited. I'm sure he can't wait to groom. You said you have a dog to groom tonight at 6 o'clock or something, so have fun with that, David. I know what it's like when we get new tools and then we get to put them to work. So speaking of tools, I did use a Coat King on Indy. There are different size Coat Kings. You know, I talk about these a lot. This is actually a Mars Coat King. There are Coat Kings that you will see made by different manufacturers. Kenchi makes some undercoat rakes. A lot of manufacturers do. And they all kind of work the same. Some of them I do like more than others. Like I do really like this Mars Coat King. I just like the way it glides through the coat. It doesn't seem to get too hasty with asking what wants to come out. Some of these undercoat rakes to me feel very aggressive, and it's going to pull good hair. We don't want to do that. We don't want to pull good coat. We only want to pull what's ready to come, what's dead, what needs to be revived and removed from the hair follicles. Now I want to also tell you guys that I worked Indy's coat after the bath when she was still wet on the table before I dried her. That's when I used a brush, a comb, and a Mars Coat King. These were the tools that I used. This is a Kenchi brush. I think I got some dog hair down in there today. This is a Aussie dog comb. I have many combs. I like this one on Indy. I like to use this side because it has a lot more space between the teeth. So for Indy being so thick and heavy coated, it helps me to get through, you know, the heavy coat. This medium-sized brush was a great brush. This is the medium slicker from Kenchi. This was a great brush on Indy's coat. And then I used the Mars Coat King after I have brushed and combed her. Yes, there's hair everywhere. And I gently would pull down in short strokes with the lay of the coat and just remove some of that coat that the brush wasn't able to grab hold of. And she feels so airy right now. That's the whole idea, is that we lightened the coat up for her. We removed only coat that was going to be falling out or had already. So we didn't hurt her dead coat, and that's very important. So I want you guys to know I have a lot of videos on my channel about me using these tools, how to use them, how to prepare your dog in the tub, de-shedding them or dematting them with conditioner and shampoos and just coat handling techniques, you know, with our simple tools, our brush, our combs, and possibly sometimes a Mars Coat King. That's about all you're gonna need. You don't need to go for any crazy tools, guys. Just the ones that we know a lot about and we know they work and we know how to use them. So that's very important. Hi, Gus. I know you're waiting for Dad to come and get you. I heard he came home. I saw we had a good question up here while we were watching our demo. The question was, what do you do if you have a dog with a lot of fleas? They've got mats. They're dirty. They're a mess. What do you do with this? This person sounded like she was a new groomer. I overlooked who it was. Please forgive me, but I saw it. I'm going to go up there because I want to call you out. I think it was a great question, and I want to address you personally because I'm glad that you asked the question. All right. It was from, yes, it was from Mariah Bay Jones, and she says, so what do you do? The dog has fleas. You know, do I bathe them? Do I force dry them? Then do I dress the mats? First of all, let's take this in sections. We've got fleas, we've got mats, and we've got a lot of dander and buildup, obviously, because if you have mats, you have an unkept, neglected coat. That means a coat that is probably rarely brushed, if at all, okay? So that means the skin has dander, there's yuck in there, okay? So we know we've got to get the skin clean. We also know that those fleas are in there. So this is what I would do if I was to work on a dog with fleas. First of all, I would have to put the shop on lockdown. So if I am going to entertain working on any dog with fleas, any dog that's in here now must go before. I don't want to put anybody else in jeopardy, okay? And I would probably cancel the rest of the dogs on my schedule that day because I have to thoroughly clean and balm my shop for fleas, because flea eggs are a real thing too. So the dog is going to drop flea eggs. Oh, why isn't this plugged in? Sorry, guys. There it goes. I swear, it might be time for a new computer. Not that there's anything wrong with this guy, but I think all my ports are just had it. So, first thing we've got to do is get the hair and the mats off, okay? The last thing we're going to want to do is force dry or blow any of those flea eggs anywhere. So, we want to contain the flea eggs. Preferably, if it's not a huge dog, and you can put them on your bathing platform so that they are raised up for you, I would prefer to clip them in there. Don't clog your drain with the hair. We're gonna vacuum it all out of there then. And I say vacuum it out, that's what you wanna do. Any type of flea-ridded hair, you wanna get it out. Get it in a vacuum cleaner, not sitting in your trash can. So, clip the dog on your bathing platform if that's at all possible. And I'll tell you why, because then you can easily disinfect your tub and your workspace. It's all contained in the tub. Versus if it's on a grooming table, you've got hair falling on the floor, you've got, hair going here and there in your shop, and along with that hair is flea eggs and live fleas. So the first thing to do with a flea-infested matted dog is to shave it, okay? Yes, shave it with a 7-blade preferably. You need to get that off so you can get down to the skin. I don't want to do a 10-blade. I think it's too short. If you had to do a 10-blade, you can do that, okay? But it's not preferred. It's just a little bit too short in my opinion. I would rather see you use a 7, which is plenty short. So the reason for going short is because we really got to focus on the skin now, okay? We've got a flea infestation. We've not got a dog with 2 or 3 fleas. If I've got a dog with 2 or 3 fleas, I'm not going to cry about it. That we can handle. It's not an infestation. So if you're seeing several fleas on this dog, that's the tip of the iceberg for what is really living and breeding on the dog, okay? So even 20 fleas is only 5% of what's living on the dog, okay? That's not much. I mean, if you think about it that way, it's scary to think about it that way. But it's true. So you got the dog in the tub. He's up on your bathing platform so that you can shave him there. Then get your vacuum or your shop vac after you've completely shaved him off, dirty, not bathed yet. And vacuum all that hair and flea eggs and vacuum it all up into your shop vac. And take that shop vac and set it outside. Okay? Get it out. So the next thing you do at that point, and this is only what you can get off. If they're really matted and this is all pre-bath, you want to get off as much as you can with your 7-blade before the bath so that we can address the skin. Okay? So you may not have, this is only your pre-trimming. We're going to finish trim the dog too, don't worry. This is just to get the hair off so we can get the skin clean. And now, hair's off. It's vacuumed up, the dog's still in the tub. So we've contained the dog to one area. If you're dealing with a flea-infested dog, I really like to contain them to one area so that I can really focus on being able to sanitize that area and clean it properly and not have the spread of fleas in my shop if I can help it. So now we go for the bath. I do not do flea dips anymore, guys. They are very hard on you. They're very hard on the dog. But I will tell you that Tropiclean makes a very nice flea and tick shampoo that will hoard off fleas, adult fleas, for about 7 days after you've bathed them. But that gives the owner time to leave your facility and then if they obviously didn't have their dog treated for fleas, they need to go get the dog treated for fleas. Okay, so they need to go and do some type of treatment. It's very important these days, especially with an infestation. And I say yes, treat them for fleas if they're infested, because fleas are going to drive down your dog's immune system. All kinds of other problems are going to come from that. You have no idea the mess you're getting into if you say, I'll never treat my dog for fleas if they have a flea problem. I feel that's a mistake. That's my opinion. So now we are washing the dog in the tub with Tropiclean Neem Flea and Tick shampoo. It's a good one. Keep it away from the eyes. Any type of shampoo that is aggressive like that is not a gentle puppy shampoo. Don't put it anywhere near the eyes, because it just contains things that would definitely irritate and hurt the eyes. So we're going to use our facial scrub or our puppy shampoo that's made for puppies. Hypoallergenic shampoo for around the face. We have to clean the face. I tell you guys that all the time. Don't ever forget, we have to clean the face. So now we've washed the dog. He's in there. You got to let those products sit on too, okay? And really soap them up. Maybe rinse it and wash one more time. Then towel him off. Get all the water off the dog. You do not dry or force dry a dog with fleas, guys, because there are flea eggs on the dog too. And when you're drying them, you're just blowing those eggs all over your shop. And yes, you're going to have to vacuum your shop thoroughly after this dog leaves. But flea eggs, you can't see them. You know, they could be in the cracks and crevices and hatch a year from now or a month from now or whenever. They are just so hardy. You know, they don't want to die. So definitely don't dry your dogs. Towel him off. And this is a case where I get this asked a lot. Do you ever wet shave a dog? No, I don't, because I like to be very careful with my blades and not cause any rust or crud to build up in my blades. You know, I keep them clean. This is a case where I will wet shave, okay? But you've toweled the dog off as best as possible, so the dog is damp. He's not dripping wet. And we can wet shave and finish the groom at this point, because we're not going to dry a dog with fleas, okay, guys? It's very important. And then after the dog leaves, then we've got to thoroughly vacuum and wipe down and disinfect our tables, our work surfaces, our tools. How do you disinfect your tools? You put scalding hot water in a bucket, and you put your brushes and your combs and your tools in there. For your blades and your shears, you spray them with alcohol and you wipe it off, and then you use your blade oil and your scissor oil to re-lubricate your blades and your shears, okay? That's how you take care of those items. And then you're ready to go. You know, you're ready for the next grooming, but you need to have that time to definitely clean and sanitize. So I hope that helped you, and I'm sure that there are many people with that question. Thank you for asking it. So let me get on to any other questions, because I just talked and talked and talked, didn't I? All right, let me look. That's the one cool thing about us getting together every Monday live from the grooming table is you guys get your questions answered. And I could really go into detail, and it also helps to answer your questions so other people can hear the answers to those questions. All right. So, all right, let me just, my chat jumps around. I do my best here, guys. All right, yeah. I know that demo was a little nasty, wasn't it, Noah Petal? Hey, it's reality. Nothing a little shampoo can't cure, right? I want you guys to understand that. You just saw that guy's scalp was in a bad way, but his barber got that fixed up right away with some good products, some shampoo, a good bath, a good shampoo, and you didn't see him rushing through it, just like we don't rush through the shampoo process with our dogs. It is the most important part of the groom, guys. Okay, Noah Petal says, if my dog had fleas, would a bath get them off, or should I use flea and tick killer or the poison? Okay, here's the thing. Yes, When you wash your dog with a product like, say, the Tropiclean Flea and Tick, which is not a dip. Dips are very hard on you and the dog. But it definitely has neem in it. I think it is neem and other things, oils, citrus, that break down the body of the fleas and kill them. But what it really will only kill, Noah Petal, is what I want you to know is what is the adult fleas on your dog. Not, there's 3 stages of fleas. There's the larvae stage, so gross. There's the flea eggs, the larvae, and obviously adult fleas. So the only thing your shampoos are really going to clean is the adult stage. So yes, you do have to treat your dog, and that is just the honest truth. You can ask somebody else, they're going to give you a different answer. So that's my answer. That's what you have to do. And it's for your dog's benefit. Parasites are horrible for your dogs, and they will drive the immune system down badly. And hey, listen guys, if your dog has 1 or 2 fleas, don't freak out. Bathe them. Keep checking them, keep brushing them, take a comb, separate the hair, keep looking. Bathe them again next week. You can probably handle it by that. If they were outside and they picked up a couple fleas because you were camping or something, that's not an infestation. I want you to know that. So when you see multiple fleas and a lot of little black dots all over your dog, those are flea bites and flea dirt. Flea dirt is like the trail of the flea after it's biting your dog. So that tells you that these fleas have been on your dog for a period of time, and now it's time to address it with some type of flea treatment. And we just got a super chat from Lori D. Are you serious? You are so getting saluted. Thank you very much for that super chat, Lori. I appreciate it, and I hope this information is helping you guys. You know that's why I share it, and I'm so glad you asked your questions because it helps everybody. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get in here. I see Marlo's just saying, hey guys, put a dash in front of your question. Okay, I see here's a question by Bama J. I have a mini golden doodle. I brush him every day with a slicker brush. He still has mats. It's like they appear overnight. How can I fix this? I'll tell you, it's because, you know, the mini golden doodles, that type of coat, it's a heavy coat. He's probably got a little bit of length of hair to him, and you can't just brush, guys. You have to bathe them too and brush. If your dog has, just like our hair, guys, if I didn't wash my hair, you know, at least 3 times a week, it's going to get really gummy. Things are going to stick in my hair, you know. It needs rejuvenation, just like our dog's coats and skin does too. You have to bathe too, guys. It's so important. So I would say that may be what's lacking, is not enough bathing time. And I mean a good bath, where you're getting in there and you're brushing the conditioner through when you apply the conditioner. This is going to be a game changer for your dog's skin and coat and for your mat issue. And your brush outs are going to be much better. Then if you do a weekly brush out, use some of that Quicker Slicker by Nature's Specialty to help you keep the coat cleaner longer as you're brushing the dog out. So there's so many ways that we can keep our dogs in check, guys, but it's a process. It's not one brush that's going to do it. It's not one bath every 8 weeks that's going to do it. It needs to be more often than that. Okay, so I hope that helped you. Watery Oasis says, my family just got a Beagle Weiner's? Is that a Weimaraner mix? I'm not sure. Beagle Weiner's mix. Her name is Gracie. We have a slicker brush and an undercoat rake. Is there another brush that we have to use to get her to make her hair nice? Well, she's a Beagle. A slicker brush should be all you need. The undercoat rake, just use when needed. You don't need to go at it all the time. Sometimes when we overstimulate the coat, especially a shedding coat, we encourage it to shed more because we're pulling too much. So I always tell you guys to use our rakes and our de-shedding tools not all the time, seldomly, okay? Maybe once every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, not all the time. The bath is very important. You have no idea how much shedded hair and dead hair that's going to release. That's the secret. Along with brushing, you can't just bathe them, and you can never bathe your dog without, if they're matted, you're never going to get anywhere with it. You either have to shave the mats off, then bathe them, and then try to work through what's left, or you have to get the mats out by brushing and not letting them become there in the first place, because you're not brushing enough and you're not bathing enough. And if you do, guys, your life's going to be so much easier. I promise you. You're going to have a different time of maintaining your dog's coat if you bathe and brush properly and often enough. CMM says, I have a miniature Schnauzer beard that is in the worst shape ever. That is so typical Schnauzers, because their face is always down and that beard is long and it's always sniffing the ground. Has some of those long green burrs, some dirt, okay, some evergreen sap, okay. Between washing, detangling, and coconut oil, which order? Coconut oil will definitely be helpful for that, but then you obviously are going to need to bathe the dog, because the coconut oil is going to make the coat oily. It's not going to hurt the coat, but it will make it oily. So you would use your coconut oil first as a detangler, and it's a really nice detangler because it really slides out the mats and the gunk. Another thing that's good, I see you say we got some sap in there. So that's a hard thing to get out, but there are some shampoo products that have citrus, that are citrus based. One of my favorites is a Le Pouche. I think it's called FAT. I can't remember. It's been a while since I had it, but that's a great one. There's some other citrus-based products that I really like. Bark to Basics has one that's a degreaser, citrus-based. The citrus kind of breaks down the sap, so that's the idea of using citrus. So definitely the coconut oil first. Then you're bathing with your citrus products. If there's stuff like sap or a lot of dirt and grime, you need a citrus-based shampoo just around the mouth area, not in the eyes. And brushing while the products are in, and then brushing before the bath, during the bath, after the bath. That's very important. Brushing before the bath, during the bath, and after the bath. Each time you're going to loosen up some of that yuck, and it's going to come out. Tasha Washington says, for a dog with silky hair, does it get matted? And what do you do? Sure, any dog can get matted, Tasha. It just depends on how long the coat is. Sometimes when the coat's really long, it mats easier. If you have a dog like a poodle coat with a long coat, it's got length, that's going to mat quicker than, say, your Yorkie coat. Yorkie coats to me are very easy to brush out versus a poodle or a doodle. So yeah, of course, honey, you can still get mats in a silky coat. It is a thinner coat than, say, a poodle, but any coat will mat, just like our hair. If you have thick hair, if you have thin hair, somebody with thin hair, maybe it won't mat as quickly as mine, and mine will mat overnight. I can tell you that. So it's like that with our dogs. They have different hair types, just like we do. But they can all mat, and they typically will mat when we leave length. So if we have long ears or long tails, long fluffy tails, or if we like, a lot of length on our dog, it'll mat. So that's a good question. And Carrie Madden says, hi, Amy. Would you even do a shave down with a double coat dog when it's a flea infested situation? That would break my heart to do, but I can't say that there wouldn't be situations that it probably would call for a shave down, Carrie. You can't, okay, let's picture this, guys. Let's picture a Newfoundland. That is a very large breed, very wonderful breed. They have a lot of coat, they have a lot of undercoat. So let's picture that Newfoundland that's 100 pounds, or no, probably more than that, aren't they? 110 pounds easily. Let's picture that Newfie that and say he hasn't been brushed in 5 months. Trust me, there are plenty of Newfoundlands out there that haven't been brushed in 5 months or more. So you know all that undercoat is in there. It's there. It hasn't been brushed out. It's not nicely hanging in there because he hasn't not only been brushed in 5 months, he hasn't been bathed either. So now we've got dander in here too, in with the undercoat that was never brushed out and removed from the dog, and flakes and crust and all kinds of nasty stuff is in that coat. That creates mats in there. You have one of a couple choices, Carrie. One thing you could do is say, this groom is gonna require several takes. You know, I'm gonna have to spend 2 hours with him today, 2 hours tomorrow, 2 hours the next day in order to not shave him. But you said there were fleas involved. That's a bad scene. So what I would do, Carrie, if you don't want to have to shave the dog and you want to work with the coat and try to work it out, and you charge him. If you spend 2 hours one day, 2 hours the next day, 2 hours the next day, that's 6 hours worth of grooming. What do you charge typically for 6 hours worth of grooming? For me, that would be at least $200, at least, probably more. But you also got to remember you're doing more work on this big dog, so that's a hefty charge. So that's $200 each. It's going to end up being like a $600 groom. Well, you didn't create the mess. You're fixing it. You deserve to be paid. And hopefully they're going to take your advice and bring that poor guy back in 8 weeks, and he'll never have to deal with this again. So, but let's say this. So he has fleas. You can either tell the owner, I can take care of his coat, or I can get rid of the coat and take care of the fleas. You choose. If I take care of the fleas and shave the coat, your dog's coat will never be the same. In fact, he may grow in thicker than ever. So present that to the owner, let them know. And now they have a decision to make. The decision is, I can go and buy a treatment that is going to cure this for my dog, you know, that is Canine Advantix, whatever you like to use. They have to be vet recommended, and you tell them this is an infestation. Go to your vet and get whatever your vet recommends. You give your dog, not what you can buy cheap at Walmart. That's not good enough. You go to your vet and get what your vet recommends for this 110-pound dog to kill those fleas, and I'll see him back in 2 months, and you will show me the documentation that you went to the vet and this is what you got for the dog, because that's a major flea problem on a big dog like that. And say, then I'll take care of his skin and coat, but we're still going to have to break the groom up into sessions because you haven't touched his coat. And I'm going to be getting wads of hair like this every 10 minutes when I brush your dog, you know. So you can imagine the pile you're going to get out of the dog to get the coat back to good. But it can be done. But they have to be on board with it, Carrie. They have to be part of that team decision. Do I want to save the coat and not shave it and first treat the fleas and then we'll take care of the coat? Or do I want to shave this dog? And then you would basically approach it like I talked earlier, Carrie, in the tub, shave it, don't dry it, towel it off, go back over it damp with shaving it again with the same 7 blade, and send him home. That's all you can do, Carrie, and it's not pleasant. It's not. Ashley Hoots says, for your wooden brushes, will it mess up the wood or the paddle to soak them in hot water? Yes, it can. You got to be careful. I know a lot of the Chris Christensen brushes are wood too. So you want to be careful of that. If you're soaking them, this could definitely, deteriorate. Are you awake now? It could definitely deteriorate the wood. So one thing you can do is get a small spray bottle and put rubbing alcohol in it, guys, and spray the brush with rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol kills 99.9% of germs and bacteria, and it also dissipates. So it's going to dry. It's not going to soak into here and make a mess. So rubbing alcohol is a very good disinfectant, as I recommend you use that on your blades too. So that's a great question, Ashley. I hope that helps. Carrie says, I have a new dog coming tomorrow. It's packed salad with undercoat, and when I separated it briefly, I noticed some black specks. Okay, it could be fleas. Well, Carrie, I would probably want to get a closer look at that dog. And if that dog has that thick of an undercoat, yeah, you said he has a bad undercoat, and there's fleas in there, you're going to have such a handful, honey. I would probably suggest that they go get the dog treated by whatever product their vet recommends. And in a month or two, then you can groom the dog. You don't have to fix everybody's problem, Carrie. Just because we're pet groomers doesn't mean, hey, you can call me up, get on my schedule, pay me $80, and I'm going to fix all your problems. That's not how life works. I am committed to other clients here too, and I'm not putting them in jeopardy, or my own dogs. You know, you let your dog get in a bad way, please fix it, and then bring it to me for my grooming services. That's how you put it, Carrie. It's a hard thing to do, but sometimes life's tough, and that's what you got to do. Nora's here from Egypt. Hello, girlfriend. How are you doing? Nora is a groomer in Egypt, and boy, is it a blessing whenever she can join us, because I know it's late there. Thanks for being here, honey. Thank you all for being here. Tasha says, for a dog with silky hair, does it get matted? I answered that earlier. Yes, you know it does. Any dog can be matted, guys. Any dog, any coat, any size. Even if it's a short-haired dog, they can mat. You gotta brush them. I'm looking. I don't want to skip anybody. You guys get so mad at me. Oh, you don't. Catherine Moore says, so I understand if we don't use a dryer on a flea-infested dog, then we will be giving the owner back a damp dog. You betcha, Catherine. And that's the way it is. You can't force dry the dog. Look, if the dog has fleas and is in that condition, really they put you in a bad situation, because you have other clients that you're looking out for, their dogs, obviously. They brought you a dog with fleas. If they brought their dog to you and it didn't have fleas, and you had worked on a flea-infested dog right before theirs, and their dog went home with a couple fleas and they didn't have flea treatment on their dog and he ended up getting a problem, do you not think they're going to call you up and say, you gave my dog fleas? That's not fair. I don't have fleas. I do my best to clean up after here, but you people bring your dogs in with fleas, not me. So we do the best we can, but look out for yourself too, Catherine. Definitely. You're a pet groomer. You're there to take care of the skin and coat. Their job is to keep their dog flea free. Those are their decisions to make at home, not yours. So Grace Lynn Smith says, what kind of shampoo and conditioner would you recommend for a 6-month-old standard poodle? Well, there's so many great shampoos and conditioners out there, but we're talking about a 6-month-old standard poodle. So I probably might enjoy something like, one of my favorites is One Step Silky by Bark to Basics. It's very affordable and very effective, and it's dilutable. It dilutes very nicely. That is One Step Silky. Tropiclean has so many of my favorites. I often tell people to try the Tropiclean Puppy Hypoallergenic Shampoo. It does actually clean very well. It smells good. Follow up with a nice Tropiclean lightweight conditioner, or another conditioner. There's so many. I mean, you dive into the iGroom products. I haven't tried all those iGroom products yet, but I'm dying to. And I can tell you this, a lot of my groomer friends that use them love them. Suzanne's in the chat, or she was. She loves iGroom products. I would try to maybe look through their products, Grace Lynn. I think you would really like them on your standard poodle. They definitely sound like they do a wonderful job. So I hope that helps. Congratulations on your new puppy. Okay. So let me just scroll on down here. Noah Petal says, hi, Amy. What do you do if a dog hates water and she is terrified of it and won't let you bathe her? And if I would put her in the tub, she just climbs out. That's a good question. Well, a lot of dogs definitely are going to throw a fit no matter what you do. if they're not used to being bathed, if they're not used to being brushed, if they're not used to being clipped, they're going to try to throw a fit, so you stop. But first of all, the best thing you do is just stay calm. You should always have them harnessed in the tub, otherwise they have too much control over the situation. So you see behind me here all these tub leashes. They're not there for decoration, guys. They are kind of pretty, but those are there to safely secure my dogs in the tub. And if you're grooming at home, Noah, then you can get these nice suction cup, or there's ones that clamp down, so they're not a permanent fixture, but it's a hook, so you can hook it into your tub at home. And in the description of this video, my friend Raquel, who's here, she makes these tub leashes, and I have videos that show you how to use them. So they're safely securing your dog in the tub so they can't do that. So that's the first thing, is just to correct the behavior by putting them on a lead that's a corrective lead that says, no, you're not getting out, and we're going to do this. So, you know, you have to you have to be in charge, definitely. And I don't mean you throttle your dog. You know, I just mean, we're not going to behave like this. We're going to move on, doggy. We're going to do this. Miss Hamey Loves K-Pop says, how often should you bathe a 4-month-old puppy? And what brushes would she need? My niece recently got a Yorkshire, and I want to help her start off correctly. That's awesome, a Yorkshire. So Bichon on a Yorkie. Well, that sounds a little bit like a softer coat, maybe a little bit of a silky coat, but she is only 4 months, so she has puppy coat. So I would start with a nice, soft, small slicker brush. Soft slicker brush. You can get them. I believe I have some linked in my Amazon store links if you go to brushes. So that's in the description below, Miss Hamey. I always try to have a soft brush linked. It is still a slicker brush like this, but this one is more of an aggressive slicker brush. This is going to pull dead coat. Your puppy coats, they're easier to work with, so you want to start with a soft slicker so that you don't discourage them from the brushing process. So it is still a slicker brush, it's just it has more flexibility. Okay, and I know even some of the Le Pouche brushes, yes, Impossible Pup says F&T from Le Pouche. That's the citrus degreaser. Le Pouche also has, they used to have a gold brush that is soft and flexible, and I like that one. So either one would help you out tremendously. All right, so hopefully that helps. Norris says, I noticed that almost every Samoyed I get gets tangled easily, even if I've just brushed him. Their coat tangles and forms mats way fast. What should I do to avoid that? Okay, I have a couple things I'm thinking, Nor. One thing is, okay, the Samoyed is a thick, heavy double coat, but it also has a fairly long top coat, about this long. So don't forget, when we're force drying dogs, we want to hold the force dryer as far away from the skin as the hair is long. So if you're dealing with a lab and his hair is this long, then here's my force dryer, here's the skin. That's how far away I am from the skin. If you get right to the skin or close to it, you cause it to whirl around real fast, and it causes whip knots. So the rule of thumb with force drying is to hold the force dryer as far away from the skin as the hair is long. That might help you. Another thing to do with that coat, even though it's thick, Nor, it can feel brittle and dry often. So using some quicker slicker or a product like that, I know you're in Egypt and you're probably saying right now, Amy, I can't get that here. I just have to keep reminding myself of that. Any type of leave-in, the spray that doesn't cause buildup would be helpful during your brush out after you bathe and dry the dog. So hopefully that helps, Nor. Simple Days by Design says, what is the best tool to use for a doodle? A brush and a comb. Absolutely. You can't do one without the other. I have a lot of videos on my channel showing you how to handle a heavy coat or a doodle coat. And your comb always shows you how you did with your brushing. If you brushed an area and then you can glide your comb through that area, then you can move on to the next area. So your comb is checking your work. This is not a sole tool for combing. You know, you don't just comb your doodle. You brush them first. You pick an area, say an ear, a big ear. Brush the ear, run the comb. If the comb can go all the way through it, you're ready to move on to the top of the head, to the other ear, and on down the neck. Take it in little sections when you're brushing your dog. You don't just go like this all over your dog. That's not brushing them. So I have a lot of videos you guys can go check out if you're not sure how to brush them. What about using Capstar? A lot of vets recommend that, Impossible Pup. And I'd say if that's what your vet recommends, then go for it. The thing is that a lot of these treatments are starting to become not very effective on dogs. So what was popular before and worked really well, your vet may say, hey, guess what? That one's not working so well. We've traded it for this. Now we're using this. So follow their lead, guys, when it comes to what will work to rid your dog of fleas. Follow your vet's lead. Okay. Ashley Hoots says Newfies can be 150 to 220. Yeah, I hear you, girl. And that's too much dog for me these days. I'll tell you what. Nora says I would never shave a dog down. I give them a diluted chemical bath to kill the fleas, and I reschedule for 5 days. That's because you're so dedicated, Nora, and I love that, to preserving the coat. And it's so important, but you know, other groomers have so much thrown at them, or the customers are not so honest when they book the appointment, and people feel the pressure to still do what you talked about over the phone. But the truth is, you weren't told the truth about the dog's condition. So guys, you can't always be Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy. Sometimes you have to be the professional and say, hey, whoa, we're switching gears here. I'm not shaving this dog. So Nor said the 2 hours and stop is what I do to reassure the owner that the pup will return brand new. Yeah, so she works on him for 2 hours and then says, bring him back tomorrow or in 5 days or whatever. And eventually they get that coat in good shape, and then the customer has to rebook in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and we won't ever be dealing with that kind of coat again. That's just what you tell them. Deborah Rose says, Amy, I'm so glad I found you. When I bathe my dogs, I use the Nature Specialty conditioner and comb it through. That is one of my favorites. The Nature Specialty Sun Guard conditioner on any coat is wonderful. The dead hair really comes out and they shed a lot less. It is, and it's almost the perfect conditioner for a shedding breed. It balances the skin and coat so well. That is my favorite conditioner, is the Nature Specialty Sun Guard. It's just that it can be a little hard to get depending on where you're at. You often have to seek out a distributor or reach out to Nature Specialty, because they're based in California, and find a distributor near you. Watery Oasis says, Gracie doesn't like the slicker brush that much. Is muscle the best thing to make her not try to a muzzle to make her not try to destroy it? I think you said Gracie's young. A couple things that you can do is, if she's on a leash, you know, you can hold her leash and just try to teach her to stand in a certain direction. If she constantly wants to fight it, don't even talk to her. Just put your arm so that if she turns around, she's hitting your arm. Don't even talk to her. Just do that and keep gently brushing. Don't get mad. Just do your thing. She's gonna back off. You know, I know she'll get it eventually. It may be not this time. It may be next time, or it may be the next time. But she'll back off and realize, oh, this isn't playtime. Nope, not at all. Carrie Madden, what did you do? She says, you are the best. I can't wait for the course in October. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to have it too. You are so getting saluted, Carrie. Don't even think you're getting out of here without a salute. Thank you, Carrie. It's my pleasure. You know that. Yes, I am really working on this course. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm stressing over it because I'm picky. And eventually I'm gonna have to say, this is what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna do it, and that's that. But I think it's gonna be perfect. That's what I think, because I'm picky. So it better be perfect. It just better be, because that's what I want. I think it's gonna be awesome. Thank you for that super chat. Norris says, the Samoyed I'm working on tomorrow, I've been working on her for 2 days now. See, Nora's no quitter. She's like, I will get this coat back to normal. I've been working on her for 2 days now. She's pretty matted and tangled. And her son, hold on a second, and her son pees on her, so she lives with another dog. He peed on my dog once. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm taking it easy, she says. I know you work so hard, girl. No, I appreciate your dedication to the dogs, Nor. That is a special gift, and it's not something that everybody possesses. And you definitely have a lot of patience for the situations you're faced with grooming. You are doing exactly what you are meant to do, Nor. You are meant to take care of these dogs, and I hope you charge enough and get paid for it, because you're the best. You deserve it. Watery Oasis says, can a hairless Chihuahua get mats? Well, let's see. No, he can't. There's no hair to mat. Only dogs that have hair can mat. Debbie McNeely says, my Yorkie has a silky hair and her harness causes mats. The harness or the collar can rub on your dog, and yes, it will. So she says, I brush and comb her out at least once daily, but still find mats, especially under her arms. And that's a tender area. It's hard to get to. So what I'll tell you, Debbie, if it's not too hard to get the harness on and off your dog, you know, especially at night, don't let her sleep with her harness on, because it will, when she moves, it will twist her hair up. You know, there's no doubt about it. What in the world? Meg Rayner says, as a new groomer, I was thrilled to find your channel. Thanks for everything you do. Meg, you know it's my pleasure. I am so glad you found us, because we're better together. And thank you for the super chat. And I hope we're helping you. And just keep that confidence level up. All you groomers, we can have some pretty bad days. Days where you're like, why am I doing this? And then the next day, after a good night's sleep, and a new dog on your schedule, and you go, oh, this is why I do this. I like this. Yeah, hang in there. Thank you very much, Meg. I'm so happy for anybody getting into our industry. We need you. The dogs need you. And so do their owners. So, Debbie, that's my answer to that. Try to take the harness off periodically. You're doing right by her by trying to brush her and comb her as much as you can. But the harness and the collars will definitely cause matting. Graceland says she's very dirty dog. She loves being gross. Oh, most dogs do. Absolutely. Let me see. I just saw another one. It popped away. Where did it go? Tasha says, my chat's jumping, guy. Okay, so it says, so they bring their dog to you with fleas. That is time and money that you are going to miss for the day. Absolutely. And you charge. I mean, if they didn't tell you, you have to work something out with them in order for them to get back on your schedule. Or you're just like, look, I can't just be here for somebody who wants to bring me a dog in the right condition that I can actually groom. I need to get paid. It's a very, man. Dog groomers are starting to stand up for themselves a lot more, and dog groomers are starting to stand up for their pets that they groom a lot more than they used to. We used to get bullied around a lot. You know, people treated dog groomers like it's our job just to shave poop and, you know, deal with flea infestations and shave matted dogs. Now we're saying, hey, you, not cool letting your dog get matted, letting your dog get feces stuck to his bum. You know, now groomers are saying, ha! No, not cool. You're not cool. All right, don't get me all worked up. It happens. Okay. Marlo says, Amy, since we are talking about fleas, my vet gives me Bravecto. That is one that seems to be very favored right now. Take every 3 months to prevent fleas, and often wondered if there's a better way or one that will give our pup to give our pups or dog. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't want to give you guys advice on flea meds. I have my preference. I'll tell you what I give my dogs. I give them NexGard chewables. That's what I give my dogs. It seems to be working great right now, and it is actually what my vet here recommends. I say stick to your vet for advice on that stuff. You know, you can trust your vet, hopefully. Create says, how do I train my Cavajan to be still while I groom her? She pulls away, bites at the scissors. That's dangerous. And she's very difficult. She's a sweetie, but hates grooming. Agreed. I think that, you know, she probably senses you may be a bit of a novice. So maybe the way you're handling her is letting her know that you really don't know what you're doing. If you aren't confident, she's not going to be confident to let you do what it is you want to do. So I have a lot of videos on my channel, Create, and I would love to help you gain some confidence with your Cavajan and get somewhere so you both can enjoy the grooming process, because it is a bonding experience. And even if that's you only brush your dog, that you take your dog to a professional groomer for the rest, that's fine. But even brushing your dog is grooming your dog, and it's bonding with your dog, and you need good behavior. So I have a lot of videos on my channel that talk about items that help you keep your dog safely on a grooming table. And if you don't have a grooming table, you can purchase a grooming arm. They're not that expensive, $30, $40 off Amazon. They're in my Amazon shop. If you go to the description below, guys, and go to my Amazon store, you can get just a grooming arm and a grooming loop and safely harness your dog somewhere on a card table if they're a small dog, on a counter, on a picnic table, on something, and work with them. It's very important to have that space so you can work with them. Norris says, I don't have a force dryer anymore, it burnt. Aww, I'm looking for one. Wow, then you must have your hands full with a Samoyed if you don't have a force dryer. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. I see Create says, okay, I got that one. Wow. Advero. Wow. Pedria. Hello from Romania. Hello to you. Glad I caught you live. I know this is out of topic today, but please, what hair clipper has the lowest noise? I know you love the KM10, but how quiet is it from 1 to 10? But see, I can only compare the Wall KM10 to other detachable blade clippers. Now, my Kenchi Flash is much quieter than my KM10, but would I want to use the Kenchi Flash if I needed to use guard combs on a golden doodle? No, I couldn't use the Kenchi Flash for that. I have to use a detachable blade clipper. So that's why I love to have the Kenchi Flash for dogs who may be sensitive around the face to the noise and vibration of the clipper, or around the paws. They're sensitive to the noise and vibration. Then I'm so glad to have the Kenchi Flash, because it's quieter. They don't seem to mind it. But when it comes to doing the job of clipping, the Wall KM10 is really just about the same as the Andis 2-speed. The cordless models of Oster, Andis, and KM, they all seem to be about the same noise level, to be honest. So I can't tell you what to get. I just know I love it. If a problem maybe if the problem is noise, having that 5-in-1 clipper like the Kenchi Flash or the Wall Bravera maybe would be handy to have, because then if you have to trim around the ears or the corners of the eyes, they may tolerate it then. Maybe. Thank you for joining us from Romania. It's a pleasure to have you here. It honestly is. So I hope that helps you. Impossible Pup says, have you tried the Mars Flex King? It's a small but awesome way to introduce to puppies since it has ball tips. Okay, yeah, that's a brush. that is a gentle brush, that's a good idea for a puppy. So we're trying to get them used to the slicker brush. We definitely want to use some type of softer slicker. So David is a groomer, and David says try the Mars Flex King, and that's probably a good thing to do. Carrie says, how's the Wall KM cordless on your wrist? Perfect. I have no complaints. Nope, it's not heavy. I'm looking at the Heininger Opal as well. I heard that's an awesome clipper. I'm noticing my wrists tend to hurt at the end of the day of grooming. Sometimes, Carrie, pay attention to the way you're holding your clipper. Are you moving your wrist a lot? If you are not, pay attention to it, because you won't notice it unless you pay attention when you're clipping. If you're moving your wrist a lot, you could really overstress your wrist. When I clip, I really try to hold my wrist pretty still. So that could be something that you're doing that's hurting yourself, Carrie. You gotta watch your movements, record it, and watch yourself and say, oh, well, that's why my wrist hurts. Because unless you're watching, you wouldn't know. Belinda says, Capstan, Capstar, I think that's what she said, Capstar, Capstan. That's a flea treatment. Okay, using the Wall KM cordless now and love it, but would like another cordless version. A corded, okay, got you. You're using the Wall KM10 corded version, Carrie. I like the weight of the KM. I do. I really do. It's not bad at all. In fact, when I weigh the two of them, they're so balanced. They're both very balanced clippers, the corded and the cordless of the KM. So I love it. I hope you do too. Nora says, I never let an owner tell me what I should do without examining the dog first by myself, because sometimes the owner does not know the real condition of the dog. Absolutely. Absolutely. Simple Days by Design said, should every dog bath include the facial shampoo specifically for their face? If you want to be on the safer side, I'd say yep, absolutely, because it's very safe and it cleans very well. So to have both those products, I say, is a good thing. To have your facial cleanser by Tropiclean, as well as whatever shampoo you're choosing to use for the body and the rest of the dog. Rebecca Carr says, wait, where did you go? Oh my goodness. Where did it go? It jumped around. Hold on, I'm trying to find you. Oh, Marlo, thank you. She says, you look gorgeous. I just got my hair recolored on Friday. I love it when I get new blonde put in. I just got a super chat from Betty. Oh, Betty, thank you so much. This is for you, Betty. No problem. Thanks for joining us, and I appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. We're better together. I was trying to find the question that just got away from me. So many of them are. I think, hang on, guys. All right, I'm trying to find my place. I'm having trouble. It bounced all over the place. Terry says, question, how long should it take to groom a Shih Tzu? It takes me 3 to 4 hours per dog. My dogs, I am not a groomer, but love your videos. I often watch them right before I groom for encouragement. That's awesome. I'm glad that you watch it. I'm glad it's helpful, Terry. For me, I've been grooming since 2003. It takes me an hour and a half to groom a Shih Tzu, start to finish, bathe, brush, fluff, clip. But it used to take me definitely 2.5 hours, even as a professional when I first started, because I had to think about everything I was doing. You know, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do everything. So, you know, don't stress over time. Follow my 11 steps to groom every dog, any dog, because it'll keep you on track, which will help speed up your time. It'll keep you from not having to think about the steps. If you perform the same steps in the same order every time, eventually you won't have to think about the steps to the groom. You'll just always automatically be doing it. Tasha said, is there a dog grooming course that you are doing in October? Yes, it will be a virtual course, but it's going to be good. It's gonna be good. So I'm putting it together. I'll keep you guys posted on that. You know, you'll be the first to know. Trust me. Belinda says, I just lost it. Gosh, this chat. It's jumping all over, guys. I can't keep track of you. Belinda says, does anyone know what the quietest nail groom set is? If you're talking about a grinder, I don't use grinders, but my favorite nail clipper is actually very inexpensive. It's a nail trimmer. It's a plier style. It's called, I'll show you. It's by Miller's Forge. This is it. It's got red handles specifically. It's so quiet. It doesn't make any popping sound. See? Here's my mic. You can't hear anything. It's very nice. That's my favorite nail trimmer. Guys, I gotta get going. I wish I could answer all these questions. I feel terrible. But I want to thank you all for being here. It means everything to me that we just keep chipping away at the stone together every week and making everybody's grooming experience a little bit better every week. Rebecca Carn says, repeating the last question, a boar and nylon bristle brush. Boar and nylon bristle. Okay, would it be a value and helpful brush for a Morkie? Thank you as always. Sure. A Morkie, no. Nope. Boar bristle and nylon bristle, neither. I would go for a gentle slicker brush for a Morkie. They're definitely going to need slicker brushed. So a soft slicker, like I was saying, the Kenchi brush is a little more firm, so I wouldn't go for that on a Morkie, especially a young one. But go for this soft slicker brush and a small size for your Morkie, because they're a very tiny little dog. All right, so hopefully that helps you. All right, I will see you guys next Monday, but I'm hoping to have a video release for you. I've been working on one. It's not done. It's not ready. I've also been working on the course. So I don't know which end is up right now. We're getting ready to have our Hershey show in September, which is in about 3 weeks. I can't even explain to tell you guys how excited I am for that show. I'm planning to be there all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're going to be coming to Hershey, Pennsylvania for Groom Expo 2021, I'm going to probably have some type of meet and greet at somewhere I'll be announcing. Would love to meet all of you, any of you that I can. Maybe we can do a little filming together and share it with our friends too. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but I'm so excited to get back into the shows. Hershey's always been one of my favorite shows, and there's a lot of cool new things coming this year at Hershey's Groom Expo. So I can't wait. So I'll keep you guys posted about anything that I'm going to be doing there and where I might be, where we could, get together and do a little meet and greet. I would really like that. I know it's expensive for you, Nor. You're coming from Egypt. Jeez. All right, you guys have a fantastic week. I love you. I thank you very much for being here and for bringing all of your information to the grooming table too every week, just like you always do. I will see you next Monday. Have a wonderful week and just keep being awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. Here is a subscriber showdown for you because I love you. Have a good week.